and we'll talk about that. Now, that broker, they're saying here, Traders Global is a fraud.
Klawi called me and told me, check your account. Tried placing a trade, and unfortunately it said market closed and the markets are still open.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Traders Show by Financial Hub. So the boys and I are finally back. Most of you have been asking us, where are you guys? What happened to the podcast? What happened to the content? What happened to the trading growth and wisdom that we always share with you guys? What happened to that? And finally, we are here, we're back. We wanted to do a switch up of a few things. You can see we changed the scenery, the location. We're just trying a new things here so that we can bring a different look to the markets, right now we are the trading floor where we normally trade. This is our space, this is our office, this is behind the scenes where we normally trade. We've put our screens down and our trading monitors so that we can shoot this episode, but this is where the action happens, and we'd like to give you content from here. This is where we talk everything Forex related. Anything outside that door is yes Forex, but here is where the raw stuff are. So welcome back to the show. Today we'll be talking about a very important topic that most of you have been victims while looking to become part of it, or maybe you don't even know about it and this is the first time you're hearing about it. And today we'll be talking about prop firms, okay, with a major focus on My Forex Fund. What happened there? You'll hear later in the story that my brothers here were victims of it, lost a couple of accounts, lost a couple of money. I'll also talk about how I also had an account with them and what happened to it finally, because the last time I did an update on my account was sometime last year, so I'll give an update on that one and what happened on it. But apart from that, it's going to be a very interesting topic. That's the scene that's going on in the markets right now. What are the best prop firms to choose? Which prop firms should I avoid? What should I look out for? And basically, are prop firms here for the long term? So I'm sure a lot of you have those questions and we'll answer them later on in the video. So my name is Caleb and I'll let the boys, but I prefer being called CK, and I'll let the boys introduce themselves.
Greetings, people. So it's good to be back in podcasting again. So it's been a while since we did our last podcast. As Caleb has said, we are revamping the whole product to make it better. There's a lot of good things coming up. So this is just like a new episode to a new season. So watch out for a lot of more content to come, a lot of guests lining, a lot of great traders interviews. So we have a good pipeline for you guys to learn from other people. I always say knowledge is only important when it's shared. So that is why we always do this podcast. That is why, again, we always do our courses. That is why we train people, we mentor people, because we love sharing the knowledge that we get. And this podcast has been a very good avenue for that. So we give thanks for it. In today's podcast again, so it's going to be a very interesting topic. Personally, the past, I think, as a fund, as we traded, it has been a very tough week. The last 1 week, we've had some bad news coming into the markets. I think these are what you call some black swan risks, some unforeseen risks, or risks that gets you very unprepared. As we have been trading prop firms, so a lot that has happened in the prop firm scene, and I think most traders right now, most developed traders are really into that scene. So if you are into prop firms, I feel like this episode will be very interesting to you. So watch it till the end, and you'll probably learn or pick up a few gems from it, and probably your trading prop firm journey will be a bit easier, or you'll learn a few tricks on how to maneuver the environment of prop firm trading. So my name is Atara Slawi, and it's very important. I'm very happy to be here and willing to share my knowledge with you guys.
So hello traders, welcome back to another episode. I think like Caleb has said, some of us were victims. I think majority of you who've been following through what we've been doing know that we've been trading with some of these companies. We've been somehow managing money for some of the firms that we have gone under. Actually, it's one firm that has gone under. So we're going to talk about the experience.
But has it really gone under?
It's gone under. It's sort of like gone under, whether through regulations or through mismanagement. It's gone under.
Be optimistic, brother.
Okay, I would really love to be optimistic, but we'll just talk about it when you go to the topic. But Today we're going to talk about what happened to My Forex Funds, the prop firm, what it means for the industry, and the different things that we've learned. I think during that 1 week, again, I learned so much about prop firms and how to even, I think I completely reorganized my approach towards prop firms. And I think as much as it was a black swan, as much as it was a bad thing, I personally lost about $50,000 that was trading there, which was about 7.5 million. So you can imagine having working capital of that much and then you lose it, means you've really gotten a huge discount in your income. However, I've learned a couple of lessons over the last 1 or 2 weeks, which are very, very, I think, crucial. I think as much as I'd love to say I hate what happened and I feel very bad, I think there are also some positives. In everything that happens, there are a couple of things that you can learn. There are a couple of lessons that you can pick, and it's very, very important for you to think around what you can learn and what you can pick from some of these things that have happened. So we're going to discuss, we're going to talk about it, and we're just going to throw some points. So I think, where should we start? I personally had that account. I started trading that account in October last year. Cleared the challenge. Yeah, so the challenge phase October last year. Still then they had the time limit factor. I cleared that challenge in December. I think in January, end of January, I got that account, so I was funded. I think between 20th January to 25th, I was funded. And I kept that account from January all the way to when the firm went under. The worst drawdown I had was about 6.7. Yeah, so a very, very interesting experience, a huge learning experience. 8 months of learning a lot about the trading aspect of prop firms and how it's designed versus the psychological aspect of how we think around them. The experience that you need to trade these prop firms to keep that account, because I'd seen very many people come in and then lose their accounts over a short period. So there was a lot that was going on during that time. But on Saturday, I think it was actually on a Saturday.
Friday.
No, it was on a Friday. Yeah, it was actually on a Friday. I think Lawi called me and told me, check your account. I tried placing a trade and unfortunately it said market closed and the markets are still open. So I think it was a very huge disappointment, very, very terrible feeling. Because there's a huge, I think for me, what I think is there's a huge opportunity for someone who's exceptional at trading to make money from prop firms.
That's true.
Whether you like it or not, the existence of prop firms can change your life. Actually, it's life-changing. If you think about, especially if you're in a third world country, if you think about how hard it is to raise some levels of capital and how many people you'd have to approach and the level of systems that you'd have to develop versus doing it via prop firms and getting 80% of the profits that you generate, there's a huge opportunity there. And one thing I always joke about, we always joke about it with actually my colleagues, is people always ask, is this virtual money? Is it real money? Are we trading demo accounts? Are we trading real accounts? While I was trading, I was never paid in virtual money. I was only paid in real money. So what really matters by the end of the day is, are you paid? And are you paid in real money? Because if you're paid in real money, if I make $100,000 and I'm given that, that's 14 million shillings in Kenya. Whether I was trading a virtual $1 million, I still have my 14 million. So I tend to look at prop firms as leverage and working capital. I think that's where I'd start.
But now there's the risk that some people really had some big profits, but they never got a chance to get the payout when the company went under.
Very big risk.
Yep. So in as much as probably again you would have been a victim of, you had money and you couldn't get it.
Actually, we were joking about it. I'd withdrawn about 2 weeks earlier before the thing went under. So yeah, there's that risk. But again, think about it. I'm framing your words. You always say, what is the real risk when you're taking a prop firm? How much money did you put up front for you to be able to gain some money? Yeah. That's the real question. That's the real puzzle.
The moment you've gotten your ROI back, the other risk becomes a bit less.
Not really. Yeah, I'd say the risk that you're
Let's say
initially
you
taking,
invested $500
and then you make
then
$5,000
on one payout. Then let's say the third payout, the account goes.
under. Yeah, you still think you had made your money back,
Yep.
and with a lot of returns.
Yep.
You get. So I'd still give it a try. If you think about leverage there,
The leverage is good, but only when
But
it's what.
calculated well and knowing how to use the leverage well.
But I think it's even more important to go back to how it started. I think Caleb can give us that story.
And just to focus on what actually happened, or what's the story behind.
Or even less explain to the layman, or even probably what are prop firms.
Okay, so you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Traditionally, prop firms worked more or less. There's a big prop firm that we follow, and you guys can check it out. They're called SMB Capital, being led by Mike Bellafiore and some other traders. So that's when we actually knew about prop trading. So leave alone these ones that were, because the other day I was telling something, do you know prop trading? And that person, it was an older person, so they were telling me about the actual prop firms,
The proprietary
proprietary trading. So that's the traditional way, where basically, let's say, for example, at Financial Hub, we are traders. We've been trading for a long time. We have a large pool of capital, and we want to also bring in other traders. So what we normally do, you bring in traders. You can be a trader or not a trader. Come in house, get some training, become you're taught the company's strategies, and from that you're allocated some capital, and slowly the capital is what is it called? Scaled up depending on your performance. So the good thing about traditional prop firms, they give you like salary, for example, and you have in-house capital that you're given. So it's not like you're looking for capital to trade your own money. So they allow you, or they give you that to start training. And also they give you a lot of educational material, mentorship, risk management, access to a psychologist, all that, more like a trading flow, but in a prop scenario. Okay, so if you look for SMB, you'll get an idea of what props are, and that model works actually pretty well because it's the in-house risk management, in-house capital, and they allocate it depending on your performance. So if you're performing very well, you scale up, and if you're not, you're also told improve, or even you can be told to leave. Now, cut the long story short, there's more into that. I've just given a big overview. Coming to now the internet world of prop firms, the internet prop, online prop. What happened now? You don't need to be concentrated or go physically to a certain company, get in-house training and all that. What basically happens is you do an online evaluation with access to demo accounts. You do an online evaluation where you pay a certain fee. Okay, do an evaluation, and when you pass the evaluation, you're refunded your money and you get access to capital, which you trade, and you share the profits with that online company. Now, this one that we are talking about, My Forex Fund, FTMO, My Funded Forex, etc. So that's what happened, and that's what the globalized online scene, social media, we're used to seeing. That's what people are portraying. That's what people are pushing for. Trade anywhere, anytime, and scale up your accounts to $1 million, $2 million, or even more, depending on how you can trade. Okay, we'll talk about the rest, like drawdown limits and all that. But in an overview, that's what prop firms are actually about. They give you access to more capital than you can actually have access to. So that's what basically prop firms are. We started trading prop firms which year? 2021. Yeah. And I think that's around the same time, because starting November 2021 is when My Forex Funds came. And I remember
it came when we started.
Yeah. I remember
just
when we started.
We were about to start, we were to actually get an FTMO, but
then they launched.
Because before we used Taras is the one who really pushed us to get into prop firms. Taras likes Twitter and all those things, so he was looking at such stuff. He's the one who came to the table and told us about prop firms. So when we were starting, we used to see FTMO and see them. We didn't start immediately. We didn't just jump into it, but we were doing a little of research, looking here and there. But also Taras is the one who came up, who brought us My Forex Funds. And when we saw them, they had a different model, so to say. And we were like, that's the first prop firm we started with. That's the one we paid with. And that's when we got it started late. You started earlier than us. Then us, we started a bit later.
About a month before. We started about September, I guess, started October.
Exactly. And that's when we started doing prop firms, and ever since we've not turned back. So that's basically how we started into prop firms. And around that time, like what I can see here, is when My Forex Funds also started. And today we want to focus mainly on how they work, what they do, what happened to my Forex funds. Because I remember last week, the previous week, I did a video. Immediately it had happened, I just went online, did a short video explaining what is going on in the whole scenario, my Forex funds, the prop industry, and what to expect. But today we want to get a bit deep and talk about what actually happened in that my Forex fund. So I can get into it.
Maybe also I can just give my experience, and probably you can explain probably what happened and what's going on, what we're anticipating moving forward, depending on when you listen to this podcast. So yeah, similar to Ken. So as Ken was in the live account, he had passed the challenge. I had also started a challenge with the same company, basically because they have also a few benefits. Something like the maximum drawdown is a bit higher. So that's something that traders can watch out for and can entice traders to go into such companies. Again, it was a very huge company. From its existence, I think FTMO was big, but MFF came and again became a bit bigger than FTMO, even from the payouts they always used to give. So it was a good prop firm again at that time to get into. So just a week into trading, I had bought it about 2 weeks ago and started trading on Monday, a week later after I had bought it. So I'd only taken 2 trades on the account, and on Friday again I wake up. I try to log into my portal. There is no portal. So then I thought again it was, so at that time again they had not even posted the information there on the website right now. I think we'll showcase the information on the screen. Then magically I just go to Instagram, and the first video on Instagram is from My Forex Funds. Now the CEO was explaining what has happened, and I was in sort of shock. So I called Ken, and we were like, hey, let's look at this what's happening on scene. And it was very crazy, as Ken said, very disappointing again. A lot of uncertainty, we've seen a lot of companies, especially in financial markets. The moment you get into a regulatory case, it becomes not really a 2 weeks or a month case. It really takes long. So even for us, our optimism of getting these accounts back right now is pretty low, until probably again we hear what will I think there's a court case on 11th of September, I think in the next about 3 days. So we'll listen again to what the regulators have to say. So we need to know what happened. I think Caleb will start that. But yeah, so I wake up in the morning, my 50K account evaluation phase 1
gone,
just a week old, gone. But I felt Ken's pain more because his was live money, he used to withdraw thousands of dollars almost every 2 weeks. And
it's gone, money, cash cow.
As you were saying, like your earnings have been discounted so much. Because again, if you're earning in dollars and in thousands of dollars here in Kenya, that is really good money, But again, good thing at least we had diversified a bit of our prop portfolio. So we had a bit of different companies. So one company went down, but we still have some funds with some other companies. I'm not sure if I did mention the name, but yeah. So that is what we are currently working on. Just learning from, again, mistakes, black swan risks. These things happen in the market. So again, as a trader, I think you should always brace for such times. Just build yourself to live under uncertainty, and you don't know what will happen next. So I feel like that is the main goal of a trader, like trying to really live comfortably under uncertainty, which is a very difficult thing to do, especially now when you put money on the table. Life is always uncertain, but yeah, when now you put money on the table, it becomes another thing now. So dangerous. Yeah, that is my experience on what just happened. So I lost phase 1 evaluation. Very, very sad, because again, from what we're doing right now is trying to scale up capital so fast, because the moment you have the skill, as Ken was saying, the next thing is scaling up your capital. And now these stops are really bringing us low. So probably Caleb, you can explain what happened. Can just talk about generally about prop firms and where we see prop firms heading from this event.
Cool. Because like Ken said the other day, he, after losing his account and later on after a few days, he was telling me he's very happy because he's still making money. He has
Another account.
a live account.
That's one thing that I actually noticed. That's one thing that
yeah.
I've learned.
Yeah.
That
Even for me, the fact that I have another live account, and this was a demo, not a demo, but a challenge account. It felt a bit, not if it was everything again, ingekuwa depression.
But still, I think what Caleb is trying to say, or what I was actually passing along, is even if they take everything from you right now, Lawi, you can still start scratch and build back. The only thing you've done is you've elongated my time of achieving my goals, but I'll still attain my goals given the fact that two things exist. Markets are not closed and I have my skill set. And prop firms are there. If those three things are, and even if prop firms are not there, I still feel like you can raise money through other ways and trade it.
For sure.
You get prop firms are only faster way to get there.
Yeah.
So the really important thing for you to focus on is developing the skill. Because if you develop the skill, then even if you go through a blow up, you can still come back and build.
And again, I feel like the fact that when you came into the prop firm scene, probably near 2 years ago, you were new into that place. You were trying to learn the ropes. You made some mistakes. Right now, it's not like you are now starting a new challenge. You already know what to do right, what to do wrong. You have techniques of risk management, how
It's
to
like
optimize your risk to pass a challenge.
Developed experience.
Exactly.
Over
So again, it becomes really
firms.
easy for you to again to now pass more challenges moving forward. That is one thing again I wanted to add on that. So despite of that thing happening again, the industry is still very ripe, very young. I feel like there's still so much money to be made. There's so much opportunities to be made, money to be made on prop firms. They are here for the long term, of course. In every other industry, not every other business, of course, will survive. Some businesses will be fought by governments, something like SportPesa.
Yeah.
You see, it was a very good, thriving company here in Kenya. Government came and fought it. Again,
Seriously.
they lost a big revenue stream in terms of tax collection because they moved much of their businesses outside Kenya. So it's normal in business. Not everyone again will thrive. Not everyone will survive. But again, you just learn diversification, resilience. Coming back. So it shouldn't put you so much down because again, what is there to do? It's already gone if it's gone. So again, it's quickly moving on. And I think that comes again from learning trading. The moment you take a loss, you move on to the next trade.
Very fast.
It's gone, and
You're
how do
moving
I
on
get
to
the next
trade.
account?
Yeah.
Because right now we're not even thinking so much about will the case be positive? Will you get back our accounts? Will you get
Just the
refunded?
next challenge.
It's about when am I getting another account again to scale up again to where I was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is a very sad experience, but also very interesting in terms of learning the industry. And again, it's very young in terms of online prop firms. As I think FTMO started about 16, so it's pretty young.
16.
Yeah, 16.
They really stayed then.
Yeah. So like Ken is saying, the money is gone, but the skill has remained. So you can take the money away from me, but you can't take the skill away from me at the end of the day. And that's why we do this for a living. Kupoteza account is normal. You can blow even when you're
Trading.
a good trader. Like personally, if I talk about my account, I had my $10,000 account, the first account I ever got with My Forex Fund last year in August. That's when I traded it for about 6 months. And then this year around April, I lost the account. So did a few mistakes here and there, just like a trader, like I'm telling you. And they blew my account and it was gone. Disappeared. Yes, such happens. Even if you're a long-term trader, you need to be outright honest with yourself and accept what happens. Those are risks that also happen. And like Ken and Taras was saying, I had already gotten my money back, made some profit. So it's not like the real risk of putting the real money, the money paid for, I got it back, but I lost the actual account that I had, which was sort of a cash cow. It was gone. But that's what happened to that. And here we are.
But yeah, again, just to add on to your point, on losing the account, I feel like that is a sad drawback again of prop firms. Because it's very, when you read the works of Howard Marks, he talks about the difference between volatility and risk. You are volatile you're just down 12%. It's very normal for firms to be down 12%, 8%. But prop firms will put this, it will sort of subconsciously, the moment you lose an account, subconsciously you start feeling like you're not so good yet. But it's not that you're not so good yet, you're just trading in a more tighter trading environment.
True.
So that means, again, you have to be very creative about your risk taking. And I feel like the moment you realize that is when things started again stabilizing and passing more challenges. So again, it's just about learning the new environment that you're coming from, because most of us are coming from retail trading. I think most of our listeners, our followers, our students, they've not really traded institutionally. So most of us are coming from trading retail to trying prop firms to scale up capital to go back to retail. And that is, again, one thing that you really need to understand. In as much as probably you can fail a challenge or two or get into an account and again lose it, doesn't really mean you're not a good trader.
Exactly.
It's just that the risk of ruin is very tight.
Very tight.
At 12% and even some at 8%. Those are very tight, drawdowns. And as we know markets, it's very easy for you to get a bad 1-2 weeks in the markets. And
Even 3-4.
Even 3-4, yeah. And now you are in the market. You want to make money from the markets, you see. So you have even that urge to make money from the markets. So patience is a bit down. Yeah, so again, prop firm trading, there's a lot to learn about prop firm trading. I think this is just one case of the downside that has happened about prop firms. We have to be open about it. We have experienced it. And we'll still continue doing them. So that is to add to your point.
Yeah. So, that's what happened to the account. Now, let me get in. Now, there's this whole story. When I removed the video last week, I just talked about what has happened. But we got deeper story now. Over the last weekend, over that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Ken, Taras, and I learned a lot about prop firms than we had learned the whole years we've been in Forex. And I said in that video, remember I said a lot of things will be brought to the light that will come and understand how prop firms actually work and what they're doing. And we got to learn a lot of that and what to do when you're looking for a prop firm, what to choose. Prop firms are still legitimate. It's a good industry, still young. Now that's why you're seeing a lot of regulations coming. So the people who are doing it wrongly are being caught, and the ones who are doing it right will elevate to the top. And there are people who are doing it right, and we'll talk about different prop firms towards later on. But in actual, if you read this, the court case that was given by, I don't know what they call it. Is this a verdict or a complaint? Something. The laws, people of laws know. So the United States District Court for the District of New Jersey filed this, and they said, if you go read this, we might leave a link below, you can go read it. Clause number 3, Traders Global. Now, Traders Global was the broker, third party broker under My Forex Funds, and we'll talk about that. Now, that broker, they're saying here, Traders Global is a fraud. Okay? Traders Global is a fraud. Traders Global's pitch has proven appealing to customers. More than 135,000 of them signed up during the relevant period, paying at least, and they're still covering up at least $310 million in fees. How much is that in Kenya shillings?
About 40 billion shillings.
40 billion Kenya shillings, okay? So Traders... 45. Traders Global is a fraud. Traders Global pays customers successfully. We'll talk about that. But a couple of things they're talking about here, the complaint that is put on a lot of them include using drawdown limit as bad faith pretext to terminate customer accounts, misleadingly assessing Traders Global's own commissions to reduce customers' equity, secretly using specialized software to stack the odds against customers by 1, delaying execution of customer orders, and 2, executing the orders at worse prices than appeared to the customers at the time an order was sent, referred to as slippage. And number 4, sending orders from an extremely small number of successful customers to an overseas counterparty, then using specialized software to artificially increase the distance between the best bid or offer, referred to as spread, to create a false appearance of decreased customer profits and increased customer losses. Traders Global, just to finish it, had a net income, basically meaning net profit, of $172 million. Kazmi, who's the founder, the CEO, the owner, used the proceeds from the fraud to purchase luxury homes and automobiles and make tens of millions of dollars in transfers to his personal account. So later on in this, they've written how he bought a $1.3 million Lamborghini. A few months later, he bought a $3.3 million Bugatti. And then he bought luxury homes. There's a $12 million there's a $12 million house he bought. It's all in this. I'm not talking guesswork. It's all detailed here. And inside this paper, which we can't go through
From
all of it. From traders losing. If you go through all these things, you'll get to see how he was able to fund his own lifestyle and live a much bigger life than you could ever imagine. So that's basically what they did, and basically he's frauded people over $310 million. So now if you just talk about it a bit, what was actually going on. So like Taras was saying, the third party broker. So you see, My Forex Fund was an entity on its own, which is the funding program. Pay, get an evaluation, pass, and we fund you. Now inside it, there was a broker. Now this broker was called Traders Global, and Traders Global was not what? Regulated in the United States of America. Now, know something, in the United States and Canada, regulations are very tight. So this guy was running something that is not known to exist. It's not registered. It's just there. So, and he could really hide that because most people are looking at My Forex Fund. They were not looking deeper, and that's something we learned when we were finding out about all this. When you're choosing a prop firm, you should look for what broker they're using, where's the broker located, what are the regulations around the country or the region this person is located. So back to My Forex Fund, the Traders Global, now this other entity is under My Forex Fund, not regulated. And another thing that really came to exposure is that most of these accounts that we trade, including the live accounts, were all on demo accounts. Okay. Simulated capital or demo. It's like you're playing a PlayStation game. It's all simulated. It's nothing. It's not real. No order you make goes into the real market, what we call the liquidity pool, the liquidity provider. No execution was going there. Now, most brokers that you trade need to be more or less what we call the STP, straight through processing, that put you straight into the market, into the liquidity provider. Your trade is actually, someone can find it. It can be tracked and seen that Ken has done a certain trade. Now, this person is not putting the actual trades into the system. He's created a sort of a face.
A market, their own market.
Their own market. Meaning they can put their own prices. They can tweak prices. They can push stop losses. They can do stop hunts, bigger spreads, bigger slippages, all that. They
control
commissions. They can control some trades and spike them out. So all that is detailed here. Okay. Now that's what he was doing with this Traders Global, and that was the biggest risk. My Forex Fund, running as an entity, was running like any other prop firm. Okay. They make money in two major ways. One, making money through people paying for capital and failing. Okay, which is just a normal business model, because if you get funded, you'll actually get paid and you'll get your money back. So it was a good model. And two, we'll talk about it later, how they have a master account that they copy trades from successful traders, and they do reverse trades of people who are not trading well. So if you're not trading well, they take your account, do the opposite, because they know eventually you're going to blow it. So we'll talk about that. But that's the main ways most prop firms make their money. But the thing about My Forex Fund is the trading entity inside it, Traders Global, was doing things in a fraud, scamish sort of crazy way, and that's why they got caught. And that's why a big case over here, even if you read this, you'll hear a lot of people saying Traders, not a lot of people, but a lot of the Klaus is written Traders Global, not actually My Forex Fund, but Traders Global. And then inside it was a very funny story how some employees were talking inside, and how they were talking about, for example, we were joking and we were talking about, it was working like what we call a bucket shop. So if you like reading books and you've read Jesse Livermore's story, what's the book called? Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. How Jesse Livermore was banned in a lot of what we call bucket shops back then because of how he was trading. Now, how he was trading, he was basically making money. When he makes money, when a trader makes money, the house loses. So there's no liquidity provided. It wasn't going into a whole market. It was you're trading against the house. So if you make money, the house is paying you. If you lose money, the house is taking it. So in Traders Global, it was sort of working the same way. If you lose money, okay, if you lose money, you're not actually losing anything because it's a demo account. But if you make money, the prop has to go into their own pockets where people are losing accounts and pay you. So now there are people who are trading successfully. And inside this system, these employees employ those employees, etc. They were talking about how we should tweak the prices, tweak the accounts, put them in what they call profiles, what they're calling aggressive profile, where if they put you in an aggressive profile, you'll easily lose your account. There are things inside the profile that maybe spreads are very high. You know, someone is taking maybe, there are many traders who take like a trade with 10 pips stop loss. But now when they tweak it, it's at 20 pips. So you easily lose your account. So all that was detailed there and what Traders Global was doing in a large scale, okay? The whole world, we entered into that, including us, and we got scammed in all that things. But other companies are doing it well, and we'll talk about that. But starting off, I just wanted to start on that for you to understand what happened, and that's actually what happened with Traders Global, My Forex Fund, and that's why they got caught, and that's why they're going for a court case.
Yeah. So I think, again, it's very important to highlight that we still don't know the eventuality of all this. So we are also just talking about some biases that we have from the news or the information that we've gotten thus far. So probably again, we might change our ideas. Probably again, they might again win the court case. We don't know about that. So the court case will be on 11th of September. Let's see how it will develop. We've been also in investments like Ripple, which it's now about 4 years still the court case going on, and our investments are sort of not really locked, but the asset itself is not moving due to that regulatory act. So again, on this case, let's still hope for the best, hoping that they might win the case, because again, I feel like most prop firms again have a similar business model, and if they're really gonna go down illegally, most prop firms will follow through.
Hope is not a strategy.
True, yeah.
May I have a different bias? Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll make it. I'm not being negative, but
who will make it?
Traders Global. Like, I don't think they'll win the court case.
So you think they'll have to redistribute all the money they have?
If
that money is frozen.
Yeah, that money is frozen. Lost. Yeah, the money is frozen. But I don't think they'll because prop firms have a similar model, but what he was doing with Traders Global is the biggest problem. My Forex Fund was working well, but Traders Global is the biggest problem. So if give or say it works, okay, if they work, I don't know. I'm yet to hear. Like Taras is saying, there's a lot of stories we've not heard. This is one side of the story from the guy who's accusing them for being fraudsters, okay? We're here to listen to their side of the story and listen. But if this is actuality or this is the true story, there's an 80% chance they might not make it back.
And again, for me now, again, if that is going to be the case, again, it worries me. Because again, I feel like most times regulations go global. You see, if Europe see US is doing something about a specific financial asset or instrument, they'll follow up on that. Similar to Kenya.
Because it doesn't
right
worry.
Now the world is divided. I think as much as there are people who will follow suit with what the US is doing and what Canada is doing, there are people who actually want to do the opposite of what these people are doing. So if these people are saying these things are bad, then they'll allow it. So I feel like Asia, Dubai, props will exist there for long, for a very long time. Those things are not going to die anytime soon. So it can last for another 5 to 10 years.
These props which are in very straight up countries, Europe, America, Canada, even Australia is very, very strict on their regulations.
Get a big problem.
Yeah, probably that can be a tough hurdle to jump. But again, as Ken is saying, the other countries, again, which rules can be easily amended or, again, probably not even followed up very, very well. So again, we still believe there's money to be made here. Again, the leverage is good if used well. You can easily make much more money than you would have made with your $5,000, $10,000
Account.
$20,000 account. You can easily get a $300,000 account by investing less than 200,000 shillings. So the leverage really makes sense. But again, you have to be creative. And most importantly, you have to be skilled. And that is, again, the downside, again, of what I see prop firms coming in. Because they are now even marketing themselves bigger than
Before.
brokers. Me, I see more ads for prop firms more than I see for brokers right now. So you notice that most young traders, again, have been lured into prop firms. Someone is so new, has never even traded a $100 account, $200 account. He's been sold the dream. Every time he goes into MFF, he sees payouts of thousands of dollars, and hundreds
hopes
of thousands
to
of
be
dollars.
the next one.
And he feels like, now I know some basics of trading, and I feel like when I buy this account with, let's say, 150,000, I can easily get 300,000. That guy is very gullible about markets. So the risk, basically, I always say it's very hard for you to cheat markets.
That's the word.
Can't
The
cheat.
word. You can't cheat.
Yeah, so
I find it weird.
similar to people using bots, signals,
like you're
all
trying.
that.
You're trying to steal. Like you
As
don't
we
stand a
are
chance.
earning it through so much intense pressure, so much mental pressure, financial pressures.
You can't cheat in my.
Sometimes even mental health becomes very down. Trading is just inherently very difficult. It's simple but very difficult, the times it takes you through. So I always say, learn the ropes of how trading works. Don't quickly rush into prop firms. I feel like prop firms are for a bit more matured traders. Not really.
If you don't have 5 years into the market, I feel like okay.
Let's not say 5 years.
Let's say some level of experience.
Some level of experience, like you know how to manage your risks well. You know the risks involved in the market. You know the psychological framework needed to trade.
Because I also feel like the upside of prop firms, by the way, like for me when I've been trading prop firms, is prop firms also discipline you to some level.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I've learned I can avoid a 10% through drawdown simply because I've been told, avoid this drawdown.
Yeah.
If I was trading my personal account, I would still trade my system, but I wouldn't cut risk if I was losing. I wouldn't rethink some decisions that I was making, I'd trade it very differently from props. So I think there's also some level of discipline, some institutionalization which comes into your head as you're trading it. And that's helpful for a trader in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah, because at the same time, like you're saying, Taras, why? Because in the second way, why I'm still hopeful, like I'm not worried about prop firms, is we all trading demo accounts. So no one is trading a real account. So real account are very few. So we saw from Traders Global the data, it showed 100 and
there were 135,000 people who are taking up the challenge. And the people who are taking up the challenge are recurring revenues. Because anyone who loses a challenge
will go for another one.
Pays back.
Oh,
So they have high retention.
300, no, not after 6 million utach.
No. Yes, for
So
sure.
you go back. So if you calculate, I had calculated the percentage, 24,500 divided by 135,000. It was about 1.8%
Go live. And even a less percentage make money
in life.
out of that 1.8. Because again, there's a very high dropout rate.
So 24,000 go live. And those 24,000 are all on demo. Only 100 people went
Real life.
real live STP. And I remember I did the math on that. It was like 0.00004 something.
They've
percent.
gotten the best people. Like you have 100,000 and you're looking for 100.
Imagine.
You have the best sample size and you're choosing a very, very small number. So it's very easy for you to get the best of the best.
So those are 100. Very few actually went live. So that I was just saying is how pro firms make money. It's basically they copy paste your trades. So they have a master account which copy paste your trades so that they can. And this is actually explained. The CEO of My Funded Forex is the one who has explained this and showed how it actually works. Okay, in a good way. It's not like an illegal thing. It's actually a smart, innovative, smart way to make money. We know, because they know if you do the prop firm, we'll get the data and they can copy paste your data. And basically, they take the same trades you take and So when you make $1,000, they're even doubling the risk. They're making $2,000. So they pay you your 1,000 or your 80% of their $1,800, and they keep $1,200 to their own account. So it was an ingenious way of actually going through it. And if they stick in that direction, having a broker inside them who's regulated, like for example, my funded forex have Think Markets, which is regulated all the way in Australia. Such stuff, now if you start looking around such stuff, you get to see that these prop firms on that angle can actually last longer. In the long term, something can happen. Like something we were discussing here, anything can happen. So at the same time, even if you do as much research and you think you've mitigated the risk, we didn't see this risk coming. This was something we knew. I remember we talked about it. There's a video I talked about it, but we didn't know it was something that was happening today. It was just trading has taught us never to have one eye, one view, one direction. Look at things from a different angle, different story. It's not all about one story, one side of the coin. They're different sides of the coin. So that's what happened, and that's how prop firms make money. So if they're able to last right now, if you can find a good prop firm, like my brother was saying here, take advantage of it as soon, as fast as possible. Scale up, make your money before the prop firms all explode or something happens. Make the money as fast as you can.
I always tell people, when people come for my class, I always tell them, anyone who can get skillful in trading, you can make your 10 to 20 million shillings in less than 3 years.
True.
Through props. Easily. You just need to raise $1 million and return 20% in a year. You're done. You have your 20-30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Clean money. You can now leverage that to whatever you want to do. You get, but you have gotten a huge jump to push you to the next level.
So like I'm saying, that's basically do it, and do it as fast as possible before anything happens. Right now you'll find people offers. I think later on more regulations will come, maybe price will start going up or whatever, but still, even if price goes up, it's a big, like Taras, I remember you're doing the math. If you pay for a $500 account, you get access to $100,000. That's a leverage of
1:200.
1:200. So you're multiplying your $500 times 200, which is a big margin, and
almost 20,000%.
That's 20,000. That's huge.
Percent.
Exactly. So instead, and we've always preached this. We've never changed ever since the start. Do not look to trade $100 and try and grow it to $10,000. Forget about that, and we'll continue saying that. It doesn't. I know you'll go online, and I know you're just from watching another video that's saying, "Look
how I grew.
I did it." Like there's this trader called Alex. I think he was doing on $100 account. Alex has been trading FX. Alex, he's been trading in the markets for years. You don't know what he's doing, okay? And what he's doing, if you watch his videos, he said he blew some accounts. He said he blew. The one that worked, it's just luck, and it just
if
grew.
You're an exceptional trader, I don't buy into that idea that even if you're extremely good, you can build $100 into $1 million.
Forget. And that's what I'm saying. I'm sure most people are watching those videos, and trust you me, go try. Okay, go try.
Yeah, give him a chance.
Go try. Go do it.
Try.
I know this is all theory and we keep saying it. Go try. Look,
try it.
bet on it. Go try. You come back.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. So I don't think I'm looking to waste my money trying to grow $100. I don't think I'll do any. Watch me grow this account. What am I proving? Honestly, there's nothing I'm trying to prove to these people. If I do it on a personal level, let me do it. But I won't come and commercialize it and tell you do the same. So for now, big capital, less risk, survive on that. Simple. $100,000 account, risk 1% to make 3-4%. That's $3,000, $4,000. You have good money. Who's being paid like that in Kenya?
Top 0.20.
No. That's kidogo sana.
$4,000. Top 0 point something.
No.
Can we have 55 million people?
No.
Okay.
That's very little.
So you're saying what?
More people earn $4,000.
You're saying what?
More than a percentage.
Yeah. I'd say a percentage of Kenyans.
500,000 people.
Yeah.
Earning about $500,000.
Plus.
earning as a salary, not business, as a salary.
This is 1%
Even if in
of
business,
the people in the
check,
corporate.
even if in business, yeah, even if you're making, if financial app pays me today 500,000, it's a business.
That is a salary.
See, I'm earning.
Yes, as a salary.
Yeah.
Very difficult for me to believe that.
There's a whole set of
Me,
MPs,
I like
there's a whole
using-
set of parastatals,
500,000.
there's a whole set of people working for private
And
companies.
MPs are paid 800,000. So half
That's
of that.
more than 500. You've said 500.
Okay, revised data. This is just something I find, and it's for December 2022 from, I've just gotten it from tuco.co.ke. KNBS revised data show that 310,000 Kenyans earn over 100,000 Kenya shillings per month. I don't know what percentage that is, but
Just over
300,000.
100,000. So what's your
Earn over 100,000 actually.
300.
300,000 Kenya.
Uongo. Msikubali hizi data ingine pia.
It can be yes.
So listen, because it's not the whole Kenya. So 2 years, whatever,
So the-
revealed that those earning more than 100,000 Kenya shillings accounted for 2.8% of the 2.7 million formal workers in the country.
Yeah. So
A formal
2.8. So
Do you
that's
think there's an informal worker earning 500,000? An informal worker?
yeah.
Look, by the way, are we traders
Yeah.
informal workers or formal?
It's your formal workers.
We're formal.
You're in financial markets, brother.
Okay.
Do you think you're in Juakali? Or Mama Mboga? Or a wheelbarrow guy?
My highest degree nishaisoma ni KCSE. Nicheke tu that's I just want to confirm. So I'm a
Professionalism is
formal
not about
worker.
degree.
So, okay.
Look at Messi is a professional football player who never went to school.
So he's a formal worker.
Yes. He's doing it professionally.
Gets a Microsoft bila degree.
And
Formal and informal is the nature of the job. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily your qualifications. It's the nature of the job.
Informal, even sometimes there's no job. Like Mjengo in a pause.
Like informal sector ni jua kali.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Such things.
Walking.
Bas, hizo ni informal. Ule mjama wa smoky.
It's not informal.
Informal. Yako ni
Like you
too
don't even
formal.
have to hire. Someone
Mine is too formal.
Yours is too formal. Even in the formal category, it's above the. It's a professionalized,
It's
in
even
fact, professional.
private limited company.
Yours is very
Directors and investors and
So I'm in the system.
in the system, Babylon.
You're a Babylonian.
Anyway, so guys, I
Anyway,
think
we won't
this
do
was
it long
This
today.
was just a quick episode to update you guys on what's happening with My Forex Funds. So I think there's much more content we'll produce on prop firms. There's a product we're working on for prop firms. So in a few weeks, you guys will get to know what we're working on. We are really trying to help our own students and also outside people to learn how to navigate the prop firm industry. So we've been here for a couple of years again. Outside our retail experience, we also have some experience in retail. We've lost some accounts, we've passed some accounts. We've traded money, we've made money from prop firms. So we feel like it's time now to, again, just as we always do, share the knowledge. So you guys watch out for that. I think we'll be creating much more content on how you guys can utilize prop firms now as they exist to make quick capital, not really quick capital, but to make your capital big capital through the leverage of prop firms, and again going back again to fund your own personal accounts. So again, the money you get in prop firms are not to be splashed, so they are to be reinvested back into your own retail accounts. Because again, the goal again is to have your own retail account whereby you'll have control over how you can take risks, and you're sure that your risk of ruin is not that tight. So again, diversification is very important. Don't be 100% in prop firms. And again, as you start out, again, don't be 100% on retail. You're missing out on the prop firm advantage. I feel like it's an opportunity for both new traders, intermediate and advanced traders to scale up capital. As Ken said, learn the disciplined way of trading, being very keen on how much you risk per trade, your exposure per day. Such things very critical for you to make money long term in the markets. And I feel like prop firms offer that avenue to learn that. So I feel like with that to say, you can give a remark before we stop there. Okay?
Yeah, so and remember trading, like Tara saying, we've finalized trading needs a professional approach, and if you're trading in the markets, you cannot trade, be it prop firm, be it demo, be it live personal accounts, be it managed accounts. You cannot trade without doing proper back testing. Okay, you trade data, we don't trade opinion. So you need to collect data and trade in a professional manner. So I did a video on that, so go on our YouTube channel and check it out. And if you want to use the backtesting software that we use, which is quite revolutionary, game changer, the link is below. FXREPLAY, and if you go and you want to pay for it, use our coupon code to get 15% off. Use our coupon code FHubReplay. So go on that site, check it out. That's what we use, that's how we backtest, and go do it for yourself and improve your trading, and I'll see you at the top.